What is going on YouTube? This is Acid Root. So I'm going to review the second album by hip-hop duo Big Tymers. Basically this product is called How You Love That Volume 2 and it came out in the fall of 1998. So the fair about this particular product here is this is a re-release. Basically How You Love That Volume 1 is more or less virtually like the same album within pitches, but it has like a few extra songs at least. Has a remix of Stunnin' and adds some songs like Big Ballin', Money, and Power and Drop It Like It's Hot. Now, I am going to review How You Love That Volume 1 on top of that within these fairs, good pitches like that to cover everything that Big Tymers did in particular, because there is also like an original type variation. Hopefully it's on Spotify pitches like that, but I'll get towards it as far as those fairs can go. But yeah, this classic album here. More within a retro type fair. Now the competing labels that were kind of going on around this time was No Limit and Cash Money as far as these fairs can happen. The Masterpiece side of things was one side of the coin, and then the Birdman, but back in those days he was known as Baby side of things, was the other side of the coin, within pitches like that. Kind of similar within the facets. It was kind of like Coke and Pepsi as far as those folks can have them, the way that particular competition kind of went. But they had some blistering type albums. Mannie Fresh had a series of hit beats that he produced throughout all these particular albums, between ones by Juvenile and BG, Lil Wayne and Turks, and those type folks, and then particulars between about mid-late 90s. The Hot Boys had some stuff as well, pitches like that, a bunch of those ordeals. I've fucked with the series of these. I have not actually as full bound. I think I did purchase this album, maybe I didn't within the fairs. I do remember briefly like the song Ballin' with Bun B on here as far as these fairs gonna have, not Big Ballin' the single, but there's another song on here called Ballin', which I remember the auto-tune type hook pitches like that. Good type fairs for the product. But this particular album, just within the aspect behind it, is vintage within the tone of just being different. It very much it's a little bit of a retro type album within the aspect of not quite carrying over to like the gloss that they had obviously on Hood Rich from 2002 and Big Money Heavyweight from 2003. And I'd probably say that I got that work from the year 2000. It's a little bit more developed as well. But they kind of were some of the dinosaurs and pioneers that helped meld type things within Southern hip hop around these particular times, grafting it to like the 2000s type eras. Things started to get a lot more vicious within those ordeals about it. It's kind of the particular aspect as far as saying within the tones behind it that some of this initial type fare, at least in Southern hip hop, and the only real other folks that were kind of too much within the commonplace of it was just Outkast and like UGK in certain type senses. Now, both of them had some pretty glossed out type appeal, but in terms of pitches as to like the sort of things that was getting ready to happen with like the nightclub scene and fairs like that, Outkast more or less, apart from maybe Elevators, which I think was also the subtitle, Me and You, some of those type pitches, did not have as much the full bound. There just weren't a ton of there weren't a super ton of like gigantic kind of Southern fried type, club type jumps and pitches like that within the thunder of it. This particular album is very much amongst like utility runs and day surfing pitches like that, very similar to how Master P had some of those type moments on like his 1996 album Ice Cream Man, pitches like that. It's more kind of Ice Cream Man more so than Ghetto D within these pitches. Just has a lot of just surf rounds and good products of just picking up like some lazy kind of Sunday or Tuesday kind of Burger King runs, pitches like that. There is Smoke type fare on here, but there's really not a packed to the gills kind of club album within pitches like that. Just some fine tunings, pitches like that, garage work, some of these type fares. It has a good kind of productive type sense, but does it in a more blue collar type format. It's kind of more of like shop type bound type things, pitches like that. If you like songs like Big by Big Tymers off the Hood Rich from 2002, it's kind of within those pitches. It dislikes the neighborhood. Lazy Summer Sundays, pitches like that. Just kind of, just shop type fair aspects like that. It's just kind of within the pitch of this being in a 90s type format. So Hood Rich, when it did that in particular 2002, obviously it had a lot glissier and more banner kind of more commercial kind of song appeal. There's really not a single as large as like Still Fly and Real Big. You're not going to find the overall glitz and glamorous songs like Still Fly and Oh Yeah, some of those type ones and Big, those three singles off of Hood Rich. But it is a pioneer kind of a throwback type one that has the appeal. So it is going to get a 10 out of 10 pitches like that. The banner typeness is just more within the retro type aspect of how things kind of, it's an important album, I'd say, within pitches like that. It initiated some of these type of sounds that Big Tymers was going to do throughout the 2000s. They hit more. I want to say that I got that work from the year 2000, which I haven't gotten to yet. I'm going to get to that one eventually. That's the only one left. That's one that's going to happen way down the road, pitches like that. But just being able to say that them in the 2000s, they had more charting type appeal as they started to get further type grips on like the commercial market. But it's just kind of fair. At least on these particular albums from the 90s, I think the Hot Boys might be the only one that's not on this particular album like that is just Turk, which I'm not as full bunch sure as to why Turk wasn't on here. Juvenile's on here a few times, Lil Wayne's on here a few times, BG's on here a few times, Bun B is actually on here a few times. I remember Bun B kind of saying that within the particular fair that Pimp C chose to fuck with No Limit, just to not take sides. Pimp C fucked with the No Limit crowd as far as those players can have a Master P and Silk the Shocker, those type folks. And Bun B fucked with Cash Money like Birdman, Mannie Fresh, some of these type folks within particular. That was how they split things as far as those players can have. So Bun B's on here a couple of times within pitches like that, but that's the reason why you're not going to find Pimp C on here. But this kind of pitch as far as I look after it. So this 90s summer fried kind of shop music pitch like that, plenty of surf rounds, this lazy kind of afternoons of this. Air and utility and hustle type runs. There is a little bit of work shift on here as well. Just kind of does that. It's real glazed. It's just the aspect. So look after here. So I recommend all the songs. Now there's one almost song within these pitches. There's 16 songs on here. There's one almost song, but within the fair behind it, it's basically probably wind up saying down the road I could see myself recommending the almost song, which is Tear It Up within these pitches, but it's a good type product. For the most part, I'd say it's pretty much a damn well clean sweep within the aspect of every last particular song within the most part facet that I recommend with this. So it's 10 out of 10. But just keep in mind when I say 10 out of 10, it's within the pitch as far as saying that the glam appeal, a more immediate type album within those facets might actually be Hood Rich from 2002. That's just the bigger commercial albums. Obviously, I give these albums 10s out of 10, but within the more immediate type recommendation, if you're looking for more casual, I still would probably recommend Hood Rich first. But it's just kind of pitch as far as it's just the appeal behind it. But this is just, it's retro to like 90s type fashions, kind of grafting that, getting those sounds kind of augmented, pitch like that. But it does it. Big Ballin' is the lead single off this product. It's like a dope pounding kind of block thunder to get here. Just throwback kind of 90s floss. I have to say about it. Just Hear Me Coming, some of those type pitches. Just a good, nice one to kind of hear from a distance with like some thump about it. Just good for parking lot pimping, good things like that. This parking lot's definitely within those pitches, some of those type of appeals. It's definitely had some thump like aspects as far as this person can have just some good noise. These were just like some bubblers within like the aspect of like getting things riled up within pitches like that. This feels like an initial type one. Definitely kind of just some good house party kind of thunder pitch like that. Dismiss the block, just block noise pitch like that. Just definitely riveting. An underground type one, but definitely within pitch like some thunder about it. Just good, nice one. Stun Remix is the second single off these products about it. Stun Remix, like a Dazed and Dagless kind of surfing to get here. Just pick up Arby's at say pitch like that. Just kind of some noon pawn shop type visits. Some of those type fairs. Just kind of lazy type day. Utility run kind of drift along as far as those fairs can happen. So dismiss the pitch. So it does have a pretty particular kind of it does have like an active kind of productive type snap about it, so it's kind of within the pitch of just saying you're going to be kind of attached to your vehicle within some of these type products, so just getting some tasks done within the fair. I mean, it has the neighborhood surf around songs as well within those pitches, but it's kind of the format as far as just keeping up with the curriculum of, having to pick up like the things that picking up like the standard necessariness, the mop and some of these type of things, the fair like the mops, the dish soap, some of these type of things. The wrench for a car in a more shop type sense, some of these type products, just if you have more garage type bound stuff that you're doing some of these type fairs within pitches, but this kind of product to this standard utility runs, some of these type aspects within telling this being good songs for having handiness pitches like that. But this is basic type fair, Arby's type visits, this basic kind of lazy type day factor, strutting through a pawn shop, some of these type aspects, and department stores pitches like that, good type flair. Yeah, but good traffic about this album, good pitches like that. So yeah, I recommend all these songs off this album. They're on here. There's some nice ones. So top of the line niggas, real nice one on here. There's this song I think I went way back with as well within these pitches. This is like a Red Hawk and a vintage masterpiece style kind of block run down to kind of get within the aspects of it. It's some neighborhood dap pitches like that. Just some convos going, just some post ups as far as these first games. So this is one of those type ones that just kind of feels like the way that trap songs from the 2010s would kind of happen. Just like what it is type situation. Some what it is, what you about type conversations, pitches like that. This initial type noise, like the thawing out within the products, like your pals, pitches like that within the ordeals. A little bit more wife beater and kind of Taco Bell type music within the pitch as far as like the fair disc. The initial type dap and combos that kind of The initial type dap and leisure as far as what's supposed to happen, section type pitch within the fair about it, just within the aspect. Drop It Like It's Hot's a nice one. Now this one, like the song title, came out before the Snoop Dogg song that was the #1 back in the mid 2000s, but it's a good nice pitch here. It's like a good 90s kind of wave making club noise kind of get within these aspects. Just an early bird kind of backed that ass up. This came out a little bit before that particular hit song by Juvenile, but it's kind of just one of those type ones, a hella twerk type song kind of get within these aspects. Now then the tone behind it, not really blistering packed to gills with the number of songs like this. This, like I said, a little bit more summer surfing, just lays kind of factor, just like more between like the hours like 1:30, probably about 6:30 pitches like that, but it's kind of the pit 1:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. but it's kind of the pitch as far as saying it's like one for some tear up just within the product of heading out for the night, just some good socialize, want to see some divas make it clap as far as these first gonna happen, just in a throwback type sense. Now this is within these particular days, back that ass up is very ancient within like the bass about it, within the particular thunder as to how it gets, but Drop It Like It's Hot's a good combination with some of those type ones. It's getting it more from big timers and less juvenile with good pitches like that. Cutlass, Monte Carlos, and Regals is nice as well. It's like a good drooping combo with How You Love That, the particular more or less the title track off this album as far as these pairs can happen. It's like a typical kind of Tuesday dreary. So some of these type ones are just the surf rounds, just standard utility runs, some of these type pitches that just lays type factor, just productive within the sense that it's probably having a little bit of smokes in your system, but not enough to where you can't drive pitch like that. It's appreciating the appeal, just like lazy kind of June, July afternoon. Some of those type pitches are just springtime, April, May. Some of these type products are just like the summer surf disc. Khakis and Dickies kind of days, pitches like that, just basic kind of summer shine, just appreciating the product, just like the scenery, and just mellow kind of feel good. And that's the same thing with How You Love That. Like I was saying, it's like a nice sluggish and drooping kind of get along tune to kind of have. How You Love That, it's like a nice sluggish and drooping kind of get along to get here, just some tune-ups and utility pitches like that. Say just good to have like Doritos nearby, pitches like that, just getting some sunshine. So this is a thorough type album, but minus like I feel like the smoke facet is kind of on here, but it's not to the extremity of saying that you're gonna probably smoke like 20. It's not to the extremity of saying that you're probably going to smoke 20 or 25 of these particular type, zigzags and pitches like that. It's just kind of fair, just enough to kind of have the product of this having some nice glare about it, but it's not to the point where it's going to be like the after effect of this consistent. It just doesn't feel as much like a head trip type product within tone, just enough to kind of get some things, but it kind of has the after product of this like day traffic and get along. So it's just kind of pitched within that. But some of these type ones, How You Love That, Cutlass, Monte Carlos, and Regal. Cutlass, Monte Carlos, and Regal, Stunning Remix, Suga and Pac, Puff and Big, Six Vegas, like some of these type ones, just tunes like that. How Should I Ride, pitches like that. So it's just within the ordeal, but I look after it. Money and Power is a nice one as well. It's like a nice glowy embellish to kind of get within the aspects. It's some hotel steam and kind of robe kickback, I'd say, here within products like that. It's kind of a lazy Sunday to burn a few as far as these first going to happen. So just kind of within the pitch, a little bit more of like a pampered kind of recreational type one within pitches like that. It has the elegant type factor. It's not within the fair of saying that it's really as much kind of full-bound fineries like you're going to be having like expensive coffee and pitches like that, but just kind of the ordeal, just like a good nice one to just watch like some Sunday television pitches like that. Some of those type of aspects to just have a good couple swishers or good backwoods fairs like that to kind of have for like some tear, but just like slippers type music and some embellish as far as those pairs have just a good nice taste of it. Good nice taste of it within the products. Beautiful is nice on here as well. It's like a good fizzy kind of radio grab to kind of have like this like a finer things type song with like a low key type flavor. So it's just kind of pitch as far as saying something like grabbing wine, some of those type products like some fanciness, but just kind of in wife beater type mode pitch like that. So just kind of fair, not necessarily taking a trip into like the not necessarily taking like a full-bound trip into like the debonair where it's going to be, switching the style up, going with like the pinstripe and all that, but it's just kind of pitch as far as saying just a good nice flavor to kind of have like some expensive kind of party fares, just appreciate the tone, but just kind of having like a simple kind of $6 DVD comedy on something like that within those pitches. Just some lays kind of kick back. It's not to say things against the cheap $6 kind of movie, it was just the pitch as far as saying just something that's not, it has like the full-bound kind of extravagance to the point where it's just going to be where you have to put like, where you have to go all out for it, pitches like that, I'd say, but pitches like that. Millionaire Dream is nice on here as well as like a basic outing strut to kind of get within these products. Just a gas station run, I'd say, hit up like a Taco Bell, some neighborhood jaunts pitches like that. Just kind of some in-between kind of time waste as far as these fairs going to go. So just good, nice neighborhood type jaunts, some of these type products as far as just like struts around. Quick snack run kind of bustle with pals as far as those pitch kind of excellent type product. Ballin' is a nice one. Like I said, I go back to the song Good Pitch like that says Bun B on here. It's excellent type fair. It's like a hella catchy kind of block surfing kind of get. It's feeling nice to say about this one. Maybe like a good product that's like some drink in your system within the legality of it. But It's a good drink in your system within the legality of it, but pick up like some Hypnotic and Bacardi, good pitches like that. This is like a primer type one. Just wrap the daytimes up with this particular one, but it kind of has the aspect a little bit more. This feels less of like a coasting song. Most of this particular album has more coasting type aspects within it, as far as just like sauntering into like the home type fare of just like probably posting up just with like television on, news, some of those type factors, just hanging out in the garage with like a pal or two pitches like that, just standard, just lounge type music pitches like that within like some smokes and probably tacos pitches like that. But it's kind of ordeal. This is a particular one that has probably like a lead in within certain type senses where it's kind of a lazy type song still within relative type sense, but probably something a little bit more Friday bound where maybe gonna have some sparkage kind of going within that. It probably would have been a pretty good choice for a single. I'd definitely say good pitches like that. On Top of the World's a primer. On Top of the World's a hitting type ones, like a good Master P like kind of 90s trap house kind of. On Top of the World's like a good Master P like 90s trap house kind of pop off to get within these aspects. It's the house party riler, I'd say. It's a great song to get crunk. So just more around the neighborhood type commotion pitches like that about On Top of the World. Some of those type ones, very similar to Mystical, Master P styles, Silk the Shocker pitch like that, just within those ordeals. It's kind of, yeah, I would definitely say it feels like trap house type noise. It's definitely pitches like that, just cooking up, not so much within the illegalness factor of it, but just kind of pitches some of those type ones that just feels like 1998, 1997 type rendition of the sort of songs that Gucci Mane was making pretty much from mid 2000s forward, and obviously the sort of that kind of happened in 2010s, good pitches like that, but just kind of a primer early bird type fair pitches like that. Initial kind of moments of trap music kind of popping off, good flares within some of that good house party type noise within the aspect, like some good shindigs, nice shindigs and kickoffs. To say this is Brad a nice type tune on here, definite pitches like that. How Should I Ride is nice on here as well as like a sluggish kind of day traffic, good slummish kind of makeshift and everyday, I'd say, about this song within the fares of it, and it's a good song to pace and build some of those type products. So just kind of within the pitch as far as saying traditional kind of get along, like a number of these on here, like some of these type fares. So this is just further lazy. Some of these are just further lazy kind of Monday, Tuesday type music, Wednesday, some of these type fares within it, just crest into the afternoon pitches like that. It's kind of the embrace like a relative type fare. So just typical kind of work day, not so much a bitchy kind of day or an ass clown of a day, but just kind of product, just the standard fare, just usual type fare, just within. Probably might smoke a little bit, but just kind of within the fare, just cozy and comfy as far as those fares can have excellent type pitches. I'm trying to think of some other type songs I haven't talked about in here, good pitches like that. I don't know if I talked about Playboy Don't Hate Me, but Playboy Don't Hate Me is like a wired kind of neighborhood bop along to kind of get. Just have like a bag of Lays with you, some fares like that. Just Parkside kind of post up and smoke up as far as these fares can go. So just kind of missed the pitch. Kind of like Millionaire Dream, but just more with the aspect of like some get tear up type fashion kind of going along. So it's this kind of pitch, have some homies nearby, figure out some next modes. So just like, yeah, I'm going to get crunk a little bit. This particular one just has a little bit more neighborhood bustle within the pitch as far as those fares can have. So it is kind of a wired type one, just kind of missed the pitch. It just like chatty type get crunk, some of those type moments. Just has some liveliness factor compared to most of this kind of dazed and syrupy type fare. This particular album is just good type pitch for some of these type ones. Get around the things going within the outdoor type fits. Definitely had the Lays, Doritos, some of these type aspects within the tone and nearby type stuff, and definitely the smoke type fastest, good type product. Just have like some good commotion. I think there's only a couple more songs I haven't talked about. Tell Me and Tear It Up. So Tell Me is like a later day shift, kind of further work to put in type fare as far as these pitches can happen. Just a muscle long kind of day, I'd say here. Just check several tasks off, so it's just kind of missed the pitch. Then some of these type products, a lot of these just have the coast type flavor, or just got done with things. It's kind of the product that just like done for the day at like 4 o'clock, just the glaze factor, just the pink skies, just kind of figure out some next moves, maybe grab like some Burger King and then head home, pitch like that. It's kind of lounge type music, head to the garage, some of those type fares. This particular one, Tell Me, just feels like a little bit more where it's just maybe like some, has a little bit more flavor, like a list of things to do, probably past like it still feels like a glaze type facet, but it's kind of the tone of this. It's kind of a passive type, it's kind of a passive aggressive type song where it's kind of syrupy within pitch, but just has the tone. I would say within the fare about it, in my opinion, this feels like another glare type song within like the relative kind of days type aspect, but just kind of within the tone on top of that, or just the pitch of just like additional type things kind of have within the product. Just gave me more vibes like a later shift kind of productive day within some of those type pitches. Just more things to do, 6:30, 7 o'clock p.m. pitches like that is kind of within the product, but just kind of more productive type fare within pitches like that. And then the almost song is Tear It Up. So within pitches like this here is like a good basic kind of block hop to kind of get is some lounge music and commotion, I would definitely say. Good percolate type tune. Goes along with On Top of the World pretty well. Drop It Like It's Hot, some of these type ones. There's another one on here like within an outdoor type sense, kind of top of the line nigga, some of those type ones. Probably like Playboy Don't Hate Me, some of these type pitches, but just kind of aspect, definitely some red cups in rotation, just the aspect of getting things towards the product, getting things cycled within pitches like that. Some of these are throwback and feel more of like the vibes of like 1991 and 1994 pitches like that, but some good type ordeal as far as saying this the aspect of this house party type noise kind of had the kickoff just within the aspect of like getting the zigzags in rotation, the red cups, some of these type pairs within the product of this like folks are starting to show up, just the folks are starting to show up, the carnage is starting to heat up as far as these pairs come. So excellent type pitch, but I say I tear it up as an almost song for me because it's kind of the retro type aspect is the dope type one, but it's kind of the pitch that I just would question if it takes a little bit lengthier for me to adjust to within the particular pairs. It just feels more within the aspect of like turntable type pair from like the retro type sense. It's just something to know that it's kind of within the retro type pair. Now these are good within these pitches, but just compared if you go to Big Tymers listening to this from like their 2000s days pitches like that, it's kind of the ordeal, just like kind of throwback type material pitches like that. But it is good. I do fuck with throwback, obviously. I do fuck with 80s and 90s hip hop pitches like that. It's just within ordeals. But looking at it's hella old school pitches like that I look after. But yeah, good type fair. So it's within the pitch for saying it's a neighborhood percolate type noise, good red cups going. So yeah, within the pitch behind, I think that basically takes care of every song I talked about on here within these pitches as far as the format's going to go. 10 out of 10 album. Social score I'd probably give. Now this is kind of tricky within the fair. I feel like it has the aspects, but I'd probably say the social score would get like a 9.5 out of 10. Because I just think within the aspect, probably like I was saying, the immediate type factor about it would probably be more of like hood rich. It's probably an easier type starting point nowadays within these pitches, unless you happen to go back with Big Time or some of these type fairs about it. It has the pitch as far as saying just the learning curve is kind of more here and there. Now, within the surfings, if you're coming to this with like a makeshift type aspect, you're looking for something to listen to, getting done with things, just some good embrace for like the sunny kind of orange skies, kind of 4 o'clock p.m. kind of surfings pitch like that, just something to wind down to pitch like that. It's kind of a more makeshift type fit. It has a lot more appeal, but in terms of like the thunder, the most capital casual type songs on here, like Drop It Like It's Hot, Tear It Up, On Top of the World, some of these type ones are good within a stir up type sense of getting things rowdy and pop that, but it's going to be that this is more retro within a sense of something to know that this is, even like I was saying, even back that ass up from 98, it's kind of a throwback type song within pitch when you think of like the particular songs that blistering kind of have that. These are like ones that kind of laid down the train tracks for some of this within the appeal of what was getting ready to happen with like Southern hip hop and some of these type players as things started to graft away from like, the hip hop golden era and getting past like Tupac and the shiny suit era with Biggie and some of these type pitches, some of these type players, the West Coast kind of surfing this pitch. So it's kind of the ordeal. Dinosaur type stuff, but it did the appeal as far as nailing it. So it's this kind of pitch you have to have a taste for as far as what's supposed to come. I just think within the product, there's just not a super glossed out type one that kind of has like an anchor. This is kind of an underground type album. So I say 9.5 social. So in terms of the future, like more or less, Big Tymers is kind of broken up for the most part. Mannie Fresh is not really as full bound kind of a part of Cash Money. He still occasionally fucks with like Birdman and Cash Money, some of those type airs, but Birdman doesn't as commonplace do music as much anymore either. So it's kind of the pitch, realizing these folks are Birdman's been around since at least 1993. Mannie Fresh has been around since possibly like, early 90s as well, pitched like that. So it's kind of the ordeals. But yeah, I have a couple more Big Tymers. Albums to get to, one of which you're going to see pretty soon within these pitches. The other one, I Got That Work from 2000s kind of pitch. That one's eventually going to pop up. But yeah, another classic for Big Tymers, good pitch like that. A throwback type one, but definitely a staple and revolutionary within the pitch of disc, laying the train tracks pitches like that. So there's one more song I didn't talk about on this particular album review, pitches like that, and that's Suga and Pac, Pup and Big, 6 Big, as far as these pairs can happen. This particular song is like a getting some late day kind of sunshine, kind of drift along as far as these pairs can happen. Just go by Sonic, pitches like that, good song to simp to along the way with them, pitches like that. Just some car combos, pitches like that, Miss the Ordeal, just like a lazy kind of Tuesday malaise, pitches like that. It's kind of another one within the aspect of like the gummy kind of Pink Skies kind of Converse and Traverse, some of those type pairs, but just a particular, I'd more or less say it's a drudgy type song, but it's more just the aspect, just a pleasant, just kind of sunny drift as far as this pitch can happen. Just appreciating like the golden skies, just some summer air pitch like that, just a nice outdoor kind of necessity pitch like that, just good type fairs. So it's excellent type aspects, but yeah, getting like some Sonic, some cheese curds, some fairs like that, some tater tots, good pitch like that, just some aspects of date afternoon, some simpy, some commute kind of simp fair pitch like that, but excellent type ordeals.